What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm a downward tackle. Today, I got a little bit of an update for you guys on the transfer rumor front, as well as some words of wisdom from the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Silvio Berlusconi. So keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times for safety precautions, of course. Now, there has been reports that Milan are looking to sign a trequartista this summer. Corriere dello Sport has reported that Milan are showing interest in former Inter player Matteo Kovacic of Real Madrid, while Tutto Sport is claiming that Milan are after Franco Vasquez once again, in which a deal could be agreed upon between the two clubs of around 20-odd million euros. Now, to add to that, they also said Milan have been offered Adria Zivkovic. I know, I nailed it. Please hold the applause. Whose contract expires in June. Now, there's plenty of potential deals, as I just mentioned. Those three. Who would you guys prefer? Leave it down below in the comments. If you ask me, I prefer Franco Vasquez, as he helps Milan in the greatest sense and can make the biggest impact on the squad. I think, he's obviously a playmaker that can distribute the ball more than just backwards, which is what Montolivo is known for doing. So I do think he could fill the biggest void at AC Milan in the trequartista role. And I do think he can make a huge impact for us and our, obviously, Champions League hopeful, kind of aspirations. Now, on to other news. Di Marzio has reported that Silvio Berlusconi has said some interesting things, stating that Donnarumma is not for sale and will be Milan's #1 keeper for the next 15 years. And he also said that Milan have two solutions, either to assemble an international team to challenge European clubs with the oil owners or focus on homegrown youth. And he did express how he prefers the second option much more than to the first. If you ask me, though, it's a bit of deja vu, as he said a number of years ago, how he wants to do a youth project, and he kind of fell through with that plan. He did get El Shaarawy, he did get Balotelli, he did get Mattia De Sciglio, who came up through the Primavera, but they sort of ditched that and kind of just went for whatever we can get, got free signings, got aging players, and the whole youth project kind of went out the window. So I do think if they were to go with the youth project, they probably should have done it around 2 to 3 years ago when they said they would. Not now, but regardless, hopefully Milan make the right decision and pick the right plan that could help Milan in the long term. And maybe the youth would be kind of, the best advantage that Milan could have. And maybe Berlusconi will be right and actually stick to his word this time. I don't know if he will, but hopefully, I guess we'll have to wait and see. He also avoided giving a solidified answer about the links of Conte and Di Francesco and mentioned how he cannot say anything as they still must decide their future. Obviously, speaking about Mihajlovic, as he still has his job, and they got to decide whether or not they want to keep him from next season, which I found kind of ridiculous, or if they're going to let him go. Because if you ask me, I think Mihajlovic deserves another season. He's done a great job, if you ask me. A lot of people can disagree. A lot of people agree. Regardless, I think he's made tons of progress for this Milan side. He inherited a team that was complete garbage, completely broken mindset. And he's actually giving us a style of play and making teams actually have to worry when they come up against Milan, not just saying, oh, it's just Milan, we can nick 3 points, no problem, we'll just beat them tactically because they suck. But now that's not the case, really. Obviously, some iffy stuff, but I do think Mihajlovic has made progress. Don't get me wrong, Di Francesco is a great coach, but he has more of an organized team at Sassuolo that took him around 4 years to actually build. And I don't think Milan have 4 years of patience with a coach like that. But, maybe they could just spend all the cash that he wants should he come in and build the team that he would want to build and make it more of an organized team, much like Sassuolo. But regardless, I don't know. As for Conte, I don't think he'll be joining Milan. Obviously, he seems much, much more closer to Chelsea. Obviously, they're going to have to compete with the likes of Man City and Manchester United with Pep Guardiola and potentially Mourinho. So I do think that they will be getting Antonio Conte after the Euros. Regardless, I do think that Di Francesco would be a great option should Mihajlovic leave, but I don't think they should be sacking him either way. Now, leave down below who you would prefer out of Vasquez and Kovacic, and if you'd find space for a player like Zivkovic at Milan, as we do have plenty and plenty of attackers. And what do you think of Berlusconi's words? Do you think he's telling the truth? Do you think he's saying the right thing going with the youth project? What do you think? Leave it down below. As I said, thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for further updates and plenty more content in the very near future. As per usual, it has been Adamo, and as always, Forza Milan.
Let's start off with the Italian national team as they played Germany last night in the friendly match. Unfortunately for them, they got a beating and lost 4-1 with a rather weak performance.